All right, people, now we're talking about lesson 7 for the flute. And in this exercise, we're going to be focusing on eighth notes, where we take a quarter note and cut it in half to get 2 equal eighth notes. And this eighth note right here, there's one, and there you'll notice that they're joined together by a single bar. So you've got, like for instance, these quarter notes right here land on the beat in number 2. You got dun, 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 1, and like we're basically, these 2 eighth notes fit into this one beat 1 of this measure, because this is all beat 1, and then that quarter note rest is beat 2, and then half notes beats 3 and 4. So this is the downbeat, and notice that we have these down arrows that indicate each downbeat. And then right here, since we've cut this beat in half, the first half of the beat is the downbeat, and the second half of the beat is the upbeat. Imagine if you're tapping your foot on the floor. Your foot is actually striking the floor on the downbeat. Pow, 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 like 1, 2, 3, 4. But then when your foot is at its highest place, that is the upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So for instance, down here in exercise number 4, the second measure from the end, we have straight eighth notes. And notice you've got an E occurring on the downbeat and an F on the upbeat. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. In my mind, I want to make sure that I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So these are straight eighth notes. You can have them eighth notes in groups of 2 or groups of 4 like this, but they're always joined by a single bar. Now, 16th notes are joined by 2 bars, but we'll get into that in a later lesson. So we've got these eighth notes, and we've talked about downbeats and upbeats. So this first half of the beat is on the downbeat. The second half of the beat is on the upbeat, like 1 and. Maybe you've seen somebody dancing, they're going, hey, hey, it's your birthday. Hey, what they're doing is secretly educating you on how to feel the upbeats, right? So that's what these little upbeat arrows are whenever you see those. So let's try number 1 here, exercise number 1. This is basically just a review, nothing new right here, but we're basically tuning up this F to an E natural to an F. So let's try number 1. Right. And now number 2, in measure 2 of this exercise, where this is where we start the down and upbeat, the eighth note. So we'll go 1 and 2, 3, 4. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. And we do that same thing here. Then it starts to become more of a consecutive flow. So number 2. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now down in number 3, same thing, a little bit. We're doing the same exact thing. Number 2 is the same exact exercise as number 3. Instead of these down arrows indicating the downbeat and the upbeats here on the second half of that first beat in the second measure, what we're doing is just showing you how to count it. And notice it's just a little plus sign. So, and it's just pronounced and. All right. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Now notice also in number 2 that whenever you whenever you're playing a downbeat, I've written it so you have your middle finger down of your right hand, and then you'll lift up your middle finger of your right hand when you play the upbeats. So it's down, 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 up, like that. You'll pop up that middle finger. So you'll get the sensation of playing downbeats and upbeats. The same thing is true down here in exercise number 4. You'll go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, And I got this exercise, the idea for this from Ed Sueda. He wrote a band method a long time ago. I used it 30 years ago, actually. But great idea of using these little down arrows and up arrows to indicate the downbeats and the upbeats. But we're going to count it now here in exercise. Are we on number 3 or 4?
3.
3. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's play number 3. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Awesome. And now number 4. This is when we get to that next to the last measure. Like this is the last measure. Here's the next to the last measure. 2 measures from the end, in other words. We go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? So let's try number 4. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. Good. And whenever I play something like this, your eyes don't have to follow every last little note. You look at this measure as if it was a word in English or some other language, and you say, the notes are just going back and forth between these 2 notes, the E and the F, and I'm playing straight eighth notes. So in your mind, all you've got to do is go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? Or mentally, you could count it. If you see it as a word, you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? Feeling the downbeats and upbeats at any tempo. So just when you understand and analyze it and look ahead, you can just read a lot more quickly. And now let's try number 5 now. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Rest. Rest. 2, 3. Cool. And then this last exercise, it should be number 6. You're going to play a B flat, E, F. Now, this is a crescendo, this little marking right here. You're going to start soft and then get louder by blowing a faster air. And you're not going to take a breath right here. You're just going to drive this airstream right into this E, F. So, and imagine it just like a wave. When you're at the ocean, you hear you feel the undertow of the ocean pulling is right, and that wave just crashes over you. Well, imagine this. You wouldn't take a breath right before these next 2 notes right here. It'd be the same as going, the ocean builds up and then it breaks, okay? It doesn't ever pause like that. So it's the same thing in music, because music a lot of times reflects the experiences the things that we experience in life. So, it's just like a wave that crashes. You crescendo, but you don't want to take a breath right before the climax right there. So we'll start soft. And the way you do a crescendo, anytime you see it in music, something I tell my band students all the time is just no matter what, even if it doesn't say to start soft, just automatically drop your volume level and then crescendo. It just makes it so much easier to execute a crescendo, which means to get louder. So let's do number 6 right here. And go ahead, Tamaja. Very good. That's hard to do on a flute because it wants to jump up an octave when you start blowing really fast. And for brass players, they have a problem of it wanting to go flat on them as they blow. You have to firm up the embouchure for brass players, but flutes are different. But hopefully this will get you started and help you to understand how to practice lesson 7 for the flute.